Hi, everyone. Glad to have you here. This is the place where we share real horror stories that will make you think twice before turning off the lights. If you enjoyed true creepy experiences, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Now let's get into today's story. It was spring break. I was 18, and that year, my mom decided we'd take a trip to a cabin in northern Minnesota. Just the three of us, me, my mom, and my 7-year-old little brother. We had plans to stay the whole week. Part of the reason for the trip was to explore small towns and maybe find a place we could move to in the future. The cabin she booked wasn't somewhere we'd been before, and I don't think my mom realized how far out it actually was. It sat over 30 minutes away from the nearest town, deep in the woods. She probably booked it for the price, not the location. In a way, it was a good test run to see how we'd handle rural life. The drive took over 10 hours. I handled the first few and my mom did the rest. We arrived right as the sun was setting. The view was beautiful. Orange skies stretched over dense forests, way different from the city life we were used to. The cabin itself was clearly old. The walls creaked and it didn't look professionally built. Still, it was cozy enough for what we needed. We unpacked and settled in, warming the place up with the fireplace. After the drive, I crashed on the couch and napped most of the evening. My mom went to bed early, around 8:30. My brother had already gone to his room, so I ended up being the only one still awake. I sat by the fire for a bit and scrolling through my phone. Eventually, I decided to go outside for some fresh air. Out back, there was a small wooden deck with a makeshift fire pit and a few chairs. I sat out there for a while, enjoying the stillness. There were no cars, no noise, just trees swaying in the wind and distant bird calls. It was colder than I expected, but peaceful. I noticed a stack of logs nearby and decided to try lighting the fire pit. To my surprise, it worked well. The fire held steady in the center. I stayed out there, warming my hands and just soaking it all in. Probably around 30 minutes passed when I heard something. It came suddenly and without warning, a single sharp sound from the forest. It echoed through the trees like an axe hitting wood. Just once. I looked out, but the forest was too dark to see anything. I stayed out for a few more minutes, feeling more and more uneasy. Something about that sound got under my skin. I finally put out the fire and went back inside. Everyone else was asleep. I still wasn't tired. Maybe it was the nap, maybe it was that sound I couldn't stop thinking about. I stayed in the living room watching a downloaded movie on my phone. Then, I heard something. At first, I thought it was just the cabin creaking or maybe my mom getting up. I paused the movie and listened. Nothing. A minute later, the same sound came again, only this time it came from the other end of the cabin, near a wall with a window. I moved closer and leaned in to listen. That's when the front door shook. A loud, violent knock rattled the wood. My body locked up. My mom rushed out from her room asking what that was. I told her someone was at the door. She looked panicked and went straight back to grab her phone and call 911. I stepped to the door and looked through the peephole. It was dark, but I could see the shape of a man standing still. He wasn't moving. He was just staring at the door. And in his hand, I could make out the silhouette of a large axe. My heart sank. I tried to tell myself maybe he needed help, maybe he was lost, but nothing about this made sense. He never spoke. He didn't say a word, just kept banging on the door. My mom was still on the phone with the dispatcher. The man slammed the door again, this time harder. The sound echoed through the cabin. Then came a loud crack. The axe punched through the wood slightly, just enough to split it. That was it. We ran. All three of us rushed into the farthest room and locked the door behind us. We listened as the hits continued, but after 4 or 5 more, everything went quiet. We didn't know if he had broken in or walked away, so we stayed hidden. 15 minutes later, the first police officer arrived. That was faster than expected considering how remote we were. The front door was still intact, but had several deep cuts from the axe. The man was gone. No one saw where he went. No tracks, no trace. They think he had been in the woods when he spotted the fire from the backyard. Maybe it drew him in. Why he was out there, armed, and approaching a cabin in the middle of the night, no one knows. We left that cabin right away. And no, we didn't move to Minnesota.
Thanks for sticking around till the end. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to give the video a like and leave a comment with your thoughts. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a terrifying tale. See you in the next one.